Hey everybody, Gabe Jenkins back with you, working on SolidWorks, and we are moving into something again that is super fun. If you watch my video that I posted earlier about what an assembly is, you already have an idea about what we're trying to understand how to do in SolidWorks, but it's a really cool process. You are taking multiple parts that you've created, and you're trying to use SolidWorks as a platform to join those parts up and see how they would interact with each other. Can they fit together? How would they operate if you were to put them together in real life? And so we're going to be starting with a relatively simple project here, which is to recreate this. It's a system of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different kind of magnetic plates, a little thing on top to kind of hold them together, 4 hex bolts and 4 washers. So all those parts are listed over here that we're going to be using. And we're going to learn in this video, 1, how to start an assembly, 2, how to insert components into our assembly, and then 3, how to join up, how to mate the different parts that are in our assembly. All right. So this is what we're ultimately trying to create. We're going to start off with the most simple part, which is slab 2. And so you should have all of the parts that were in that finished assembly. You should have them all as part of your assignment that you can download. So you might need to pause the video and download all of them first so that you can kind of have all of them available to you when you start to put them together. All right, so we have slab 2 here, and we're going to need, I don't remember, I think I said 6 of them. So let's start. We have a part here, and we're going to start making our own assembly. There's 2 ways that I know of that you can make an assembly. One, if you wanted to, you could just make an assembly, like you make a new part, you go to File and then New, and then just click on Assembly. Or if you already have a part open that's going to be kind of like one of your parts of your assembly, you can start by just making an assembly using a part that you already have open. So let's do that. Have slab 2 open. You can see it's got all this different stuff. That's how it was made. Pretty simple. And I'm going to go up here to thing. I'm going to say Make Assembly from Part. Okay. Now you can, if you already have an assembly, you can use that as a sub-assembly. That's fine too. But where you have a part, we're going to make an assembly from the part. So it brings us to an assembly page. What you see down here, it looks a little different. We have some different different menu options up here at the top, and it says Insert. Select a component to insert, and then place it in the graphics area, or hit OK to locate it at the origin. All right. So here's where we're going to start by making the first thing. This part right here, slab 2, is already highlighted in blue. You can unhighlight it or highlight it again. If you have multiple configurations, you can change which configurations. We're not worried about that right now. We'll just leave it as tabs. Okay. And I'm just going to move my mouse over here, and I'm going to click. Once I click, it places that first part that I wanted to insert, that first component. It inserts it here. You can see right here next to slab 1, that's the part I just inserted. If you highlight this, it's got all the stuff just like we're used to seeing when you make a part. It's got all that kind of embedded in it. The F right here means that it is fixed. Every other part that we insert in it here, we have the ability to move left or right or forward or back or up and down. We also have the ability to rotate it any way we want to rotate it. This piece, though, is fixed in space and fixed with respect to the XYZ origin. Okay, so while we're able to move other parts around, this one's going to stay where it is. All right, so we got one of those in there. Let's insert another one. So I'm going to go to Insert Components, say slab 2. Cool. I'm just kind of moving it. It knows that this is what the part looks like. I'm going to move it around, and I'm just going to click somewhere, right? So now, once this is in here, I can move it around. I can just click on it and drag it, right? Move it, move it, move it. If I want to rotate it, I can rotate it, so I can pick it up. I can, oh, that looks more like red. Maybe that looks more like what I want it to look like. Whatever. Make it so it's wherever you want to be. But so it's in there. Now, one thing to be kind of careful about is that it's really hard to tell where things are in 3-dimensional space when you can only look at it from one angle. So you might need to, like, it right now it looks pretty close, right? But it's kind of hard to see, and sometimes you're going to tell there'll be times when it looks like it's right where it needs to be, but it's actually, if you spin it around a little bit, change your view, it's way off from where it needs to be. But it doesn't matter in terms of mating or like placing parts in together. It doesn't matter necessarily. We have to just like kind of start to establish what parts of which features we want to mate with which parts of what other features. So let's start. If I go back and look at my thing I'm trying to make, I got one piece right on top of another, right on top of another, and I got 6 of them in a row, right? So basically, what I'm trying to say is this is my first piece. I want the top part of this, the top face, to be mated with the bottom face of this one, okay? So if I go to mate and I click mate and I say, what are the parts I want to mate? I want to mate this top face, and you can tell it's a face because right next to my cursor there's like a square. That means that I'm clicking on a face. If I move over here, you see that square turn to a line. That means that I'm clicking on a line. But here I want a face. I want this face to be mated with this face, and so it's going to move them. I hit OK. It has now established a coincident mating relationship between the top face here and the bottom face down there. It's obviously not where I really want it, but you can see I can move it around, but it might look like it's like right where it needs to be, but it's not. I can kind of move it so it's there. That looks pretty close actually, right? But it's not exactly right. So I need to establish a couple of more mating relationships so that they are so that the part is attached to the other parts exactly like I want it to be. Normally that means I don't want them to move, but if there is a certain way I want them to move, then I need to like leave it that degree of freedom. So what I'm going to do next, I'm going to say I want this side right here to be coincident with this side right here, okay? So I'm going to zoom in a little bit. I'm going to say I want this side and this side to be coincident. Cool. Say yes, I want that to be true. Now, it's basically done, but I'm just going to do one more thing because it's not totally done. Let me just show you, right? If I move it around, like it is still free to move because still the bottom face of this is still touching this. This face is still in line with this. So it's almost like it's totally constrained, but it's not, right? There's still 1 degree of freedom. So in order to constrain it one more time, I'm going to click here on this face and this here on this face, and I'm going to make sure that that's all joined up. And now it can't move anywhere. I'm clicking on it right now. I can't make it move anywhere. So once all of those are set up the way I want to, and hit OK. Now it's done, right? So those are the first 2 mates, and I did them with just coincident and coincident mates. Okay. Now let me zoom out a little bit. If I want to change colors, say I just want to change colors. If I want to change colors, we'll make this next one. I can't remember what I did in the. What did I do in the first one? Was blue. All right, so I'll make this one blue. Click here, make it blue. Click here, make that one blue. All right. Now I need to insert another 4 pieces. So I want to show you something so that it's a little bit easier. I need to insert 4 more slabs. I go to insert slabs. If I click this thumbtack here, what's going to happen is it's going to let me just kind of, however many times I click, it's going to drag that many in. So if I click once, it's 1. Click another time, click another time, click another one. Okay. And once I'm done, I can hit escape. And if you can see, it has inserted all of these parts in here. Slab 2 these are all, this little negative sign next to it means that they are free to move still. They're not totally constrained. Slab 2, this blue one here, I've totally constrained it, so it can't move. That's why there's no little like underdefined negative sign next to it. So let's just go ahead and I'm just going to show you a few other ways to establish connections between things. And I want to show you a few things. So we're just going to go back into mating. I'm going to do this one first. So I want to link this to this. Now I just click those 2 faces, right? And so they're linked, but you can see that's not really the orientation that I want, right? What I really want, I want this one to flip over. So if I click this button, it'll flip over, and now it's kind of the 2 faces that I want to be linked to each other. Let's see. I could do now, what if I wanted this line to be parallel with this line? So if I click those 2 lines and make sure parallel is lined up, That seems like a good way. So that's just a different kind of mating relationship. What if I now said I want this face and this face here to be coincident? Okay, almost done, right? But there's still some movement there. So I need to constrain it one more time somehow. I'll just click here, here, and done. Now, I've done more than I needed to. Probably didn't need to do that first little parallel one, but I'm just showing that there's different ways to do it. So let's try this one. Let's say I want to do, again, I want to do this face with this face here. I'm going to flip it over so that it's on the right plane. Now, we've been doing face to face, like coincident or parallel. That has gotten us kind of where we want. But I want you to see this too. You can also do concentric mates. So say like I want this hole right here. Okay, like we'll do this. This circle to have to be concentric with this circle right here, right? So if I hover over here and I click, okay, this circle, I want to be concentric with that circle. And now it's going to line up those two circles. So now that's a constraint. Well, let's say I want to do, yep, that looks good. And I want to do this one and this one. Concentric, done. Okay. Now let's just see. Is it fully constrained? It is now fully constrained because I got those two holes lined up and I got the face lined up. Okay. So let's do the rest of these fast because we're just trying to show how you can do it. I'm going to constrain that with that. Oh, mate. That with that. So you might need to like move some things around. Yep. That with that. Yep. And that with. Yep. Cool. This one with this one. Flip it over so that it's right. Yep. This to here. Yep. Obviously it's not in the right spot, right? So I need to move it so that it's fully constrained and all in the right spot. Okay. Let's change it so that the colors are right. Let's see. I did blue. I think I did green next. What's after green? Yellow, probably. Yellow, probably orange, probably did a rainbow. Cool. So, and red is on top. Okay. Okay, cool. So that's all of my basic slab parts. Aligned. They're all aligned, they're all fully constrained, and they are all mated up. Now here's just, if you wanted to see where all the mates are, under here, if I expand mates, these are all of the different mating relationships I have established. So if I click on any of them, it shows me what two parts are matched up, right? So I can see, oh, this is parallel between this part and that part, or these two things are concentric here, right? So if you want to go back into any of them and see or delete any of the mating relationships, it's super easy. If you wanted to get rid of them, one of them, you could just kind of right click on it and hit delete. I don't want to do that. But you can do that. You also have the ability, to suppress a mate. So it just kind of like it disables it for a moment. You can always like bring it what is it called? Unsuppress, replace, unsuppress. I think if it's been suppressed, you can unsuppress it. But it's kind of like it postpones that mating relationship for a minute if you want to move it in some way. In the meantime, if you remember in the video, I showed you a mill, and there were mating relationships that had been suppressed, which allowed me to move the table forward, backwards, and left and right. Those relationships were there, the mating relationships were there, but they had been suppressed so that I could move the shape. So that's one place where all the mating relationships show up. You can just kind of see what you've done. In addition, if you want to see like a specific part, right? So say like, oh, this one right here, that's part 2, right? What is it related to? What did I make related to that? If you click on this and expand it, you can see all the different things, the history of it, again, how it was made. But up here, you can also see what are the different mating relationships that have been established with that part. So you can see if it's not working the way you want it to and you think it's somehow related to a particular part, you can expand what all the mating relationships look like and see, does that make sense? Is that what I wanted to do? You can change things or delete them from there as well. So those mating relationships are stored both for each part and then down here at the bottom, like in total, all of the mating relationships. So that's like a duplicate down below. All right, we're at the next step. Next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna import this kind of triangular piece in here and show you that sometimes the mates are a little bit more complex. And we're gonna hopefully get to the part where we can make even more complex parts. So I gotta bring in that part. So I went into browse, I'm gonna find the part I wanna do. This one happens to be called crane hook. And I'm gonna put it in the model. Now, right now, it looks like it looked like it was in the right spot, but in real three-dimensional space, it's really not in the right spot. Hard to tell, right? But I know that I want to make this basically up here somewhere, right? I'm going to have it be up on top. Hard to make it look right. Ooh. All right. So I'm going to do this. I want the top face of this to be mated to the bottom face of this. So I'm going to do that one first because I know I want to do that. I'm gonna click on that, mate, and click on this face, and it's gonna make those things so that they are attached to each other, right? So I can still move it left or right, doesn't really matter kind of where I move it yet. You can see it matters, it's still attached. So even if they look like right now, it's not in any way related. If you look at it from the right angle, it's still lined up so that it's at the right height, basically. All right, so now, it's almost in the right spot, right? But it's not exactly in the right spot. So I'm going to say okay, but I want to establish, if I go to mates, we've been using standard mates. Right here it's standard mates. But there are, and here we have coincident mates, we went parallel, perpendicular, tangent, concentric. All of those are different ways of making things a certain relationship with each other. We could also say that I want it to always be a certain width from, or a certain distance from the other one. Right? That's another way you can make a mate. I want to show you this, advanced mates. Sometimes this is super useful. Say I wanted to just center this piece in between this way, like left and right this way, right? Here's one thing you can do. You can say width, okay? And right now it's constrained as centered. So if I click on this face here, this face here, so between those two things, and now it moves down to here for this box, and I say this face and this face, it's going to move it so that it's exactly equal left and right. Okay? Cool. Now, if I want to do the same thing, but just do it from this face and this face, so it's like, okay, width, constrain, I want to do this face, and this face, and that face. It's now centered in this direction as well. Okay, once all these look right, I'm gonna hit OK. If you don't hit OK, it might delete them from you. So whenever you're kind of like, feel like it's good and it's ready to rock, you should hit OK. All right, I'm gonna make this look normal, so it's an isometric. Cool. Now I got 8 more parts to put in, but they're all pretty simple. I got 4 washers and 4 bolts. So I'm gonna insert more components. Because I know I'm going to do 4 washers, I'm going to click that thumb pin, and I'm going to do the washers first. Boom. Okay. It loads it up right here. I'm going to click 1, 2, 3, 4. Great. It enters all of those things into my model. I'm going to do these basically doing 1 coincident mate for each one and 1 concentric mate for each one. You'll see how this works, right? So I'm going to establish mates. I'm going to go to mates and say, I want this. You might need to zoom in just so you make sure you're picking the right part. This face match with this part. Now, I'm just going to move it over here just to make sure it looks like it's on the right plane. Sometimes it's facing the wrong direction. Okay, that looks right. And I'm going to say I want, yeah, and now I want this part and this part to be concentric. It is. Great. That's now in place. Same thing here. Does it look right? Yep. And that one, and that one are concentric. Great. Here, here, yep. And you, like, they don't have to be right next to each other, because it'll figure out how to, it'll just move it into place, right? As long as you're establishing the mating relationships the way you want them to, it's going to be, like, I can just click here, it's going to put it right, and I'm going to say, I want this, that face, and that to be concentric. Cool. All right, so now that's all done. And we're almost done. All we have left are the 4 pins. And so you can see it's added the 4 washes, it's added the hook at the top, it's added the 4 washes. Last thing we have to do is add the components. I'm going to add the hex bolt. Okay. I push pin to that. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And now I'm going to establish a concentric mate and a coincident mate for each one of these things, and it'll be done. So I'm clicking this surface, like the cylinder surface of this thing, right? So if I want to click mate, click here, and you see how I'm highlighting the inside of that. I'm highlighting it so I can see it's the surface. Now, it's way down here. Well, that's not where I really want it, right? Because that's not right. But because it's just all the model knows, all the assembly knows is that this has to be concentric with the tube, basically the hole. So it's still got the freedom to move up and down, and you can see it's not too concerned about reality right now, right? Like, there's no way in reality that hex bolt could go down into model, but here it's okay, right? Whoa, that's not right, mate. Okay. See, I hadn't hit OK yet, and so it was a little confused. Wasn't sure if I wanted to do it. So now it's in the right spot in terms of concentricity, but I got to make sure that it's touching where I want it to touch. Coincident, cool, done. All right, so now that one's done. Let's do the rest of them real fast. Move it up a little bit. One more to go. Cool, yes. Move it up. All right, so that's the essence of what we're trying to do. We are just trying to, like, move things the way we want them, establish mating relationships between them so that they all are attached the way we want them to be attached, or that they're free to move the way we want them to be free to move. And get this crane hook, cool. And now it is done. All right. So as you go further in your SolidWorks career, you're going to understand there's a lot more advanced mates. We're going to learn about gearing ratios and things like that. But for now, I just want to make sure that everybody understands how assemblies work as a big picture, and how to put 2 different parts together. All right, everybody, have a great day.